Hey everybody, it's the Terrible Terror here, and we're about to go see Overlord. And I've actually been kind of interested in seeing this movie for quite some time, since the first time I saw the trailer. It just feels like, honestly, it feels like kind of one of the newer like Wolfenstein type things. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. Somebody actually decided to take that type of storyline and turn it into a full-fledged movie. So will it be good? I don't know. And I know that it's kind of waned a little bit. See, the problem is that when you go see a lot of movies, and especially when you go see a lot of movies in the theaters, they put all the goddamn trailers. Like, you keep getting bombarded with them in certain aspects. Some of them may be in, because you're going to see fucking Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's everything that's related to that. And you get to see the Elton John movie trailer like 16 times, because all you're seeing is fucking dramas or, whatever, things that aren't like horror related. But you go see all these comic book movies, and you see horror films, and you see all this stuff. And so you've seen the Overlord trailer probably about, 75 times. And it's hard to get away from it. And, kind of, I bet you, we'll meet up with Pat tonight. I don't know if we're meeting up with everybody. I don't think Ben's going to join us for this review, for this one. But I at least can get Pat's, if he doesn't join us for the final review, his kind of initial thoughts. But I know that he's waned a little bit because he's seen so much of it. Like, again, trailers, you know how they fuck everything up. But this is meant to be just kind of the intro like I normally do, to kind of give my thoughts on it. So let's just see how this goes. Now, I've heard so many good things of it from different podcasts as well that are lucky enough to be big enough to have like early screeners and shit like that. Unlike me, hey guys out there, if if studio or whatever wants to give me early access to a movie, please let me know. But I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon until I have thousands and thousands of downloads per day. But like I said, I think that this is still going to be a fun movie. I heard it's relatively gory, so I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen a really good R-rated gory movie in the theater before, or not before, but in a while. So we'll have to see. I hope that it's at least entertaining. That's all I really want out of this, in a lot of movies. I know there was, and maybe I can touch upon it later, but there's that Vogue article that's been going on, about how horror just isn't doing well. Well, you know what? Mainstream horror is not really doing that well. Some of it's doing okay, but there have been really good releases, and they're not on the fucking... Of course, who goes to fucking Vogue for their thoughts on horror? Fuck you. But anyway, so we'll be back, in a little bit. It'll just be a seamless transition for you, but we'll get Pat's initial thoughts, and then we'll come back with our normal car review, so stay tuned. Hey, look, it's Pat. Pat, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. Like, I still, even though I still kind of figured out what it might be like a zombie-ish kind of movie, I'm still curious. My curiosity is still there. I don't know exactly what to expect.
What about you? This is Angelo, by the way.
I'm assuming it's probably
a lot of gore.
I'm assuming probably like some kind of zombie stuff or some similar to like Wolfenstein-based type stuff.
That's what I said earlier too. I said Wolfenstein might be a big influence on it. All right.
Is he going to go into first-person mode?
No, not like Doom. How about you? This is Crystal.
I didn't really expect very much. Honestly, I don't really know what it's about. Like, I see the commercials, but I have no clue what to expect, so.
All right. Hey, we're here, and this is Pat with me, Parallel Pat. You
Woo!
know him. Everybody should fucking know.
Oh,
I know Ben is actually missing, like I said in the beginning of the video. It sucks. I wish he could have been here for this, because I think he would have really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just saw Overlord.
Yep.
And straight up in the beginning, maybe minor spoilers here or there. Put it on the lights or in the car. Just because I think there's a couple of things that you can't really talk about without saying something. Mm-hmm. But overall, what'd you think?
Overall, dude, I really enjoyed the movie. Like I said, I kind of went into this not sure exactly, because is it a zombie movie? Is it just a monster movie? Is it just, like maybe they're throwing the wool over your eyes? Well, if you go off the first commercial, I honestly wish I only saw the first trailer. When you kind of start to see other things happening, it kind of didn't ruin anything, but it would have been just way better if it was just that original trailer.
Yeah, if you would have went into it, because I think, like you're saying, it starts like a war movie, man.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. I think this is a really good movie.
The sound, the shots, the music,
the brutality of it.
Brutality. I mean, honestly, like, you almost want to say, hey, JJ Abrams, make a World War II movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw Dunkirk sometime after it came in the theater. I really wish I'd seen it. We never did Dunkirk, but he didn't. No, he didn't. That was Christopher Nolan. That
was Christopher Nolan.
And really, the beginning parts of this felt like parts of Dunkirk, like the way that it was shot. That how you felt claustrophobic inside of the plane as they're getting ready to jump. When all the shit starts going down in the beginning of the film, it's like really highly entertaining. And throughout, I only had a couple of gripes towards it. One was the German not being subtitled all the time. Like, they subtitled, so they
started talking English.
Yeah, well, he started talking, so the big bad German guy, the head of the SS guard that's there, or whatever you want to call it. But it's not that they didn't, if they would have been consistent, because they subtitled it every now and then when it was important to the story, and they subtitle, like, you hear French, German, and English in the whole thing. I almost said Spanish. That would have been hilarious. But there are certain points where it would have actually been good for the audience that didn't speak German to know exactly what they were saying. And I'm kind of lucky enough, and it was easy German, that I still like got some of the stuff. Like, there's one scene where, like, the doctor that's in charge of the whole thing that you really don't, I wish we would have seen more of him. He looks into the thing, they release something, you don't know what it is, and he looks and he goes, ausgezeichnet, which means, oh, excellent. Like, you could tell he was happy, but just having the words there for some of the audience, like, I laughed because I was like, oh shit, that's like, I understand what the word means. But I felt like it kind of brought some parts of maybe the audience a little away from it, in some of the more like comical things using German than in other parts.
I don't like reading subtitles, so that's fine with me.
If I didn't have to listen to that French bitch talk.
And let's talk about her real quick. I mean, you said we're doing minor spoilers?
We're doing minor spoilers,
okay. Yeah. Obviously she, from the very beginning when you first meet the character, she obviously isn't just like a damsel in distress.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, and I'm not going to say why, all of a sudden she's with the soldiers and she's G.I. fucking Jane. And then like she's like a weapon expert.
Yeah, well, you can still see that she's like shaky. Okay,
but then like the part with the flamethrower.
Yeah, I know she manages to grab it.
All of a sudden, she's a weapons expert.
I still thought it was badass though.
It was, but like to me, here comes the sexist part of it. But that's 2018 for you again, where they have to have a strong female lead come in there and kick some ass, just like in Predator with Olivia Munn's character, who honestly, if you took her out of the movie, you wouldn't even notice that she wasn't there.
But I think that with this, the way the story worked and everything, I think that she fits within the context of this movie and the way that she was utilized in that regard. Yeah, maybe she did a little bit more than she should have, but I think that she was very important to what the story
I agree.
To do, and unlike Olivia Munn, where I think you could take her out of fucking Predator and it doesn't matter.
But I mean, like I said, I agree. Like I said, the character had meaning. It's just like as much as they pushed it. Like I'm saying, you could be a strong character, but you're like a villager. You're in this small village in France that's taken over by Germans, and all of a sudden you're a weapons expert. Like that to me, that's what I'm talking about. Where obviously she was a badass. You can tell she was a badass. She was defending herself. She's running around in Nazi Germany or in France with the Nazis around. Excuse me, Nazi France. Trying to get food and scavenge off of soldiers and shit. And you can tell, all right, she's assertive. She's trying to, she's doing what she has to do to survive. But then, like I said, all of a sudden, like she's just a weapon expert. Like to me, that's the only thing that kind of gets me. And that's where I feel like they had to throw in that, there's a kick-ass one.
And the highlights of the film for me was the music of the film.
The music was awesome.
What we were talking about was we're walking up, which I agree, was that you had all this really cool orchestral stuff, a little bit of guitar mixed in here. I really felt like it was going to go into be like, video game heavy metal music for a second, but it never really did that, which I thought was really cool. And the music kept you pumped and kept you going through the scenes and everything. And then the final song
is a hip hop song.
And it's weird.
And honestly, like I'm listening to it, and I thought I almost was like, man, I kind of want to download this song. But the thing to me is, it kind of threw me off a little bit because I just feel like they could have kept the beat going without the rap.
Yeah.
would have been better. And then maybe on the soundtrack have the actual song on there. But to me, it's like the music kind of fit, you know, for the end of it, but the rapping just kind of throw it off because all of a sudden there's no rap in it, and it's supposed to be taking place in World War II. There isn't that genre of music yet, so like to throw it, I don't know. It's not gonna like kill the movie for me.
It's not, and I think the music itself kept pretty well with the era of everything. What I did like a lot too was that the title card was done like an old serial type of thing, where it was kind of grainy, and you had Overlord pop over the screen and everything like that. And there was a couple of scenes where they even went into that, which one seemed a little out of place, but it was really quick the way they were doing, just had emphasis to that part of the scene. And like I said, the action actually was pretty good. The gripes I have with this film are very, very minor.
Is one of them this one? For a bunch of soldiers sneaking around a village occupied by Germans, and they're supposed to be extremely quiet. How much fucking noise they made?
That's definitely one of them, especially when they've captured the German guy, and they're beating the crap out of him, and nobody... Like, if I was that German guy, I'd literally just be yelling at the top of my lungs, and somebody's gonna come by. They're like, they patrol all the time, everywhere, and they constantly go into houses, yet they only come to this house once because the guy wants to get some, and then...
Well, I can understand why maybe they didn't go back. Obviously, the house is protected. Like, no, I'm talking about randomly search.
I know. They wouldn't randomly search it because they're protecting him. You know, they know what he's doing there.
But at the same time, you know, I mean, okay, this movie is supposed to take place in a matter of, what, like 6 hours?
Yeah, 6 or 7 hours.
So, I don't know, maybe that's why they didn't
But it's
go
still,
back.
especially when they start going all gung-ho, okay, now we're going to attack. Oh, we're just going to start shooting people. And like nobody's really gonna come.
Oh yeah, like when the scene happened with the syringe, like how they made so much freaking noise. No one comes.
No one comes.
It's not like a huge village. It's a small village.
No, the guy is yelling and screaming about what changes are happening to him because the syringe went into him. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nothing. And there's people outside, but there's people outside because the guy gets
I was hoping that the one woman would have died though. Snitches get stitches, you know.
Oh yeah, that lady from across the street.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call the people on you. Well, didn't you know that that's his fuck toy? Maybe that's why she did it, because she knows that she's been safe because of the whole situation.
Maybe,
so,
I don't know.
I don't know. So I still think that it was a very entertaining movie, and
I wish they would have explored the lab a little bit more. Even if it wasn't a scene with, like, they could have broke away from the heroes of the movie and just had more scenes with, like, the Germans in the lab showing the things that they were doing. Because, like, for example, we'll say, I don't want to give anything away, but when they pull the cover over the sheet.
Yeah.
And the woman that was there, you know what, what I'm talking about.
You'll see it if you see it, you know what you're talking about.
I would have liked to see more of that kind of stuff they were doing.
You could see, it's basically, they showed you that they're doing a bunch of experiments, but you never quite understood exactly what was going on until the last, of course, the last chapter. I would say that the first act, the second act of the film, they're very good. The third act is just kind of mediocre when they start getting a little more action-y. But again, I still think that overall the movie is very entertaining.
The gore was good. The explosions and that they did.
Oh, that one guy in that whole sequence for the one guy that died towards the end of the movie was cheesy. I knew what was going on already, but how it ends is great. I don't want to give that away. I don't want to give away the thing is the whole what they're doing, and we want to be. It's hard. I'd really almost like to do a whole fucking spoiler thing on this, or I could even just do a one-off podcast episode on this when it comes out. Maybe that's what'll have to happen.
Yeah, maybe. But it was really. I really enjoyed it, and yeah.
So, what would you give the film out of 5?
I give it out of 5. I'm gonna give it 4.5. Fake super soldier syringes, only because. Like I said, I wish they would have shown more lab in the experiments that they were doing, like the things that they were doing in the labs. Maybe a little more explanation of why they were doing what they were doing to get what they were trying to achieve. You get what I'm saying?
I totally get you, because I wish they would have done, like I said earlier, more with the lab guy. the head doctor on the whole thing. Like they
Can't
talk about.
duck down.
I wish, honestly, I wish he was the main villain of the film rather than who we got. I'm also going to give it. I'm going to give it just a straight 4 out of 5 stabby bone arms. When you see that, it's fucking fantastic. But everything that he said, I completely agree with. I think that, you know, there are stereotypical characters, like you're a New Jersey guy. Hey, I'm from Jersey, Italian Jersey guy or Italian New York guy, you know, but I think that it's still fun. Like that's the type of movie that you go to specifically because it's going to be a fun time, not because you're looking for this cinematic piece of art. Even though I think that there's so many
you should win something. I mean, music, shots, something, because it was visually and what's the word for sound?
Auditorially.
Auditorially,
if that's
awesome.
the word.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Pat, you got anything to plug at the end of this lovely video?
Yeah, so go check me out on Paranormal Pativity. I'm going to have a new episode up soon, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, both at Paranormal Pat 64, and send me any experiences or photos maybe you've snapped of that you think might be paranormal at paranormalpat64@gmail.com.
And we'll put the stuff up there. So, all right, and of course, go ahead and check out, you know, the Terrible Terror podcast if you're watching this on the YouTube channel or on the Facebook page. Hopefully, you're already listening to the regular podcast, or you know, if I was able to actually fit this on Instagram TV, which I don't think that's possible for this one. So make sure that you go do that, and then the Universal Monster Movie podcast, they're all out. He did the hand of the Mummy's hand, I should say.
Not the hand job of the mummy.
Not the hand job of the mummy. No, and you'll see, for me, the Revenge of the Creature should be out shortly after this is up, sometime in the next day or two. So,
and real quick,
yep.
I don't feel right without saying it because Ben's not here, but you know, definitely go check out B to the 4th Power, or as Ben would say it, B to the motherfucking 4th Power on Instagram,
you should just like put a little video of him or something, a picture of him right there.
I was gonna say that too. It's a great minds think alike. I just have a head pop up.
It's just like
be the 4th Power. YouTube, and definitely go check out his Angry Dad podcast
and all that stuff. He'll hopefully be with us on the next car review that we do for the Terrible Terror podcast. So, signing off, and we shall see you next time.
Woo!
Later.